Hey everyone, so I'm hoping you came from my last video, but if you haven't, go check the last one out. Basically, that video was going over everything that KJ's ex-mod said happened between her and KJ, and not even everything, it was just like the main points of what led her to no longer supporting KJ. I'm sure there's more. Before we get into this video, let me just give a quick disclaimer. I do cuss in my videos. This is not a kid-friendly channel by any means, so if you got little ones around, just hold off, wait, whatever, there's that. This video, I actually said at the end of my last video, I was like, it's going to be a little difficult, and then I was like, not difficult, I might get a little backlash. Look, at the end of the day, I don't give a shit. I have my own life. This is something that I do because I enjoy it. I don't care about backlash. And I do know with this content creator, it happens. It certainly happens. But I've had some feelings for a while. And I was actually going to make a video about him way back when I did my BX versus Radiant Brit videos. I think I did a couple, and getting into that made me realize that what he had done to Manda Pants was so shitty, like for real. But Manda Pants actually came out and made her own video right after that, so it was like, is there really a need for me to do that? Probably not. So I left it alone. But here we are, talking about good old Bxbeastboy yet again. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm pissed. So he did this on his Garfield Speaks channel, but it is Bxbeastboy. It's whatever. I don't know why he has two different channels, to be honest. Maybe I don't know enough about him. Anyway, he made a video. The first one, and I'm going to be linking both of those, as well as the X-Mod's video and T-Spiracy's interview with the X-Mod. He made a video the day after her T-Spiracy's interview with this X-Mod, and he basically in that video was just like, y'all gotta quit trusting everybody, stop thinking with your emotions, like, X-moderators lie all the time, I think it's a bunch of bullshit. And he was saying over and over again that it's all these people come out and do this shit, and they make careers off of it, and there's no denying that a lot of people have started channels to basically stand up to Katie. That's how I started. That's, I just got tired of seeing her treat subscribers and members like absolute shit, for real. So yes, there is a huge community of people starting with the same goal. But to say that everybody who does this, and especially like an ex-mod who has more experience with Katie than anyone else, to say that they're just doing it to get fame and to grow on YouTube and clout chasing, it's just bullshit. It really is. You can't just ignore someone's experience and say, well, which we'll get into this more because I do have notes, but to say that they're doing it all for clout, they're doing it all for YouTube fame, to say, well, they don't have any more information on her, so it's all bullshit. Like, we already knew all this. Yeah, we already knew that Katie did shitty things. These are different shitty things that she has done, but it doesn't make them any less shitty. Just because we've heard hundreds of stories doesn't make it any less impactful to the people that it happened to. And I think that's a huge problem that I'm having with BX's videos right now. It's like he fully discredits this woman because he's got his own trust issues, and we're going to get into that as well. But to say, like, well, she didn't bring out anything new, no new dirt on KJ, that doesn't discredit what she has been through with Katie. And he all but says, she deserved it if it happened, but I don't believe her. Like, that was the second video. So he makes a first video basically like, don't act on your emotions, don't believe everything, moderators alive, it's happened to me. And then while he's saying that all these people have done this, he says like all these moderators have done this. And as far as I know, the only other ex-moderator of Katie's that's come out is the one that was doing it to kind of like double cross Katie. So to say like, oh, I'm not saying any names, and then directly reference an ex-moderator coming out and talking about it when that's what this woman had just done, and he references the Teaspiracy video and doesn't say any names, he makes such a big deal out of that, but obviously people knew, and they were like, what the actual fuck? Because he basically was trash talking Teaspiracy for even doing the interview, as if she was stupid to believe this woman. Then he makes a second video, and he's like, oh, no, I didn't mean any. No, I like Teaspiracy. She's cool. She should just know better, basically. So we're gonna dive into it. I do have notes, but needless to say, I don't like it. I don't support it. I don't even understand it. It's frustrating, but I have a lot of other feelings about him. So if you want to see those videos or that video, I could probably get it down in one video. I think maybe. If you want to see it, you want to hear my opinions on him, let me know. And if you're here to hate on me because I spoke of him or spoke badly about him, it is what it is. You know, this is how I feel. And I don't like it. I think he's got some issues. I think he's shady. I think he's done some shitty shit. And I don't like it. Where will we start? Oh, yes. So the first video. Okay. I spoke about this in my last video to make sure that I included it and I wasn't keeping it from you guys or whatever. He brings up in the Teaspiracy video how the ex-mod mentioned that she had gotten $150 on Thanksgiving from Katie. And he frames it in a way that was, you know, she didn't appreciate it. He comes on in the first, and he does the same thing in the second video. Well, she came on and she was like, well, that was just one time, like, as if she didn't appreciate it at all. Now, I watched her live stream and I watched the Teaspiracy interview. I don't feel that's how she meant it to come across. I don't feel as though she wasn't appreciative. She was in the middle of talking about how she had sent her daughter's Amazon wish list for Christmas, sent it to Katie, asking, like, can you share this? Because $150 at Thanksgiving isn't going to give you Christmas. Let's face it. If you're a parent, you know, it's not going to give your daughter Christmas. All she was asking, she didn't go to Katie and be like, can I get some more money? She didn't go to her and ask her to buy anything on the list. She just asked to share it. And I'm going to kind of go off a little bit here, but anyone who's a parent, if you've ever struggled, if you've ever not known where Christmas was going to come from, you know how hard it is to ask for help. Most of us don't want to do that. And it takes a lot. The last thing you want to do is disappoint your child. So for this woman to have to feel like she had to go and make this list and ask for help was already probably hard enough, but looking at Katie as a friend who had helped her, it was probably very difficult to even ask her to share it. To feel like, you know, you did just help me, but like I need this. You know what I mean? Like, again, that $150 at Thanksgiving was not going to give this child Christmas. Yeah, I imagine it wasn't easy. I'm not saying whether it was right or wrong. I'm just saying it could not have been easy, and I don't feel as though that this woman, when she was talking about it, was saying, well, that was just one time that she gave me $150, but she didn't help me at Christmas. It wasn't like that. It was explaining her feelings on the situation, that Katie was very shitty to her about it. And not just that she was shitty about it, but she tells her no and then goes on to do a live stream talking about, let's fill Amazon wish list for people. as if it was just this amazing charitable idea that she came up with. That was the point. But if you listen to how VX frames it, it's completely different. And that bothers me. And it bothered me as soon as I heard it. Because I was like, what is he talking about? You know, like I said, I'd seen the live stream. So personally, I didn't take it that way. And I don't think that's what she meant by it. And I don't know. I think it's kind of wrong to put it in that way. And make people believe that this woman was just so unappreciative. It's not. That's not how it came across. And I certainly don't think that's how she meant it. No one is out here saying that Katie's never done anything good, okay? I'm sure she has. But doing good does not excuse all the bad. It just doesn't. You know, there's no excuse for a lot of things Katie's done. And I don't know. So let's just move on. So he talks about, again, a plethora of people coming forward, and he made it seem like a lot more than what it was. Like, yes, people have come online to share their opinions of Katie, and some of them have experiences firsthand with her. But, you know, as far as, like, again, he made it seem like more moderators had come out, and maybe that's just me and how I took it, but I don't know. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if 100 people have come online and made videos. It doesn't discredit what this woman experienced and how she felt about it. And obviously her experience was different. She, again, had been a moderator for Katie from the beginning. She knew her prior to Katie having a channel when she was a writer at Pathos. But, of course, then again, VX doesn't believe a word she's saying. Whatever. So he calls everyone liars. They're all liars, all these ex-moderators. And that's when he kind of gets into talking about his ex-moderators. So if you don't know, BX has had moderators leave and criticize him and say that the things going on in his Discord were pretty messed up. We'll say it that way. But he has this, like, fake wokeness about him. Like, he sees everything that we don't. He's a logical thinker. And that's one of my biggest issues with him is he thinks so highly of himself. But if you look around, you can find some of the things that his ex-moderators had been talking about was his behavior in the moderators' Discord. He was serenading women with his own music and flirting with them and kind of ignoring the men. Basically, if you don't agree with him 100%, if you criticize him, you're like, he's done with you. I can kind of see that. I really can. In the past, he's claimed to take criticism well and then not so much. I personally made a video about him, and he had come on my channel and commented, and I was like, oh, well, maybe I was wrong. Maybe he does take criticism well, and then turn around and love some other shit. And like I said, not so much, but that's for a whole other video. So he keeps talking about his own experience with his ex-mods lying on him. And one of the things that he says a lot, he said this in the Radiant Brit and Mandapant situation, that they tried to bury him. Well, he also says that about his ex-mods, and you've got to stop and wonder, how many times can BX be fucked over? How many times are people just out to bury him? It seems a little off to me that, like, it's always people after him, people screwing him over. They're out to bury him. How many times can that happen to the same person? I'm just saying, like, it doesn't make sense that people are just always trying to take him down. And his reasoning for this is because he keeps it real. He tells the truth. He tells it like it is. And you know, he's a logical thinker. And so the second video he makes, he really goes in on everybody, all the viewers, anybody who listened to this ex-moderator story. And in turn, again, while he continues to say he's not going for Teaspiracy, she's included in this because anybody who listened to this woman was basically stupid for believing her, thinking with their emotions, and he's, basically saying, well, not basically, he is saying, y'all need to stop thinking with your emotions. And I think logically, y'all need to stop this. So yeah, that's attacking everybody, including Teaspiracy. I could understand why she felt attacked, especially because he was referencing her interview. But he don't want no shit because people like Teaspiracy, so he does go on to backtrack a lot, and to an extent. At one point, he does say he's not apologizing to her, which we'll get to that. But he also says everyone's always flipping on him. And I think he was referring specifically to the anti-KJ community, but they're all flipping on him because he's telling the truth. Again, he's always a victim. It's never him. Ever. He could have never done anything wrong. Even though he'll say things like, I can take criticism. If I said this and you took it that way, I'll look back on it. But does he mean it? Does it ever happen? No. He never takes accountability for shit. He thinks so highly of himself. He thinks he's so fucking perfect, that he's such a logical thinker and he sees through everybody. It's irritating. I'm not gonna lie, it's fucking irritating. I don't like people that think they're better than someone else, like, for real. I can't. This part is what pushed me to the point where I was like, I'm making a video. I'm making a fucking video because this shit pissed me the hell off. So in his second video, he is going on and on about people, the people who have made videos about Katie, who have blown up because they've shared their experience with Katie. And he says he's not going to say names, but he refers to her second video by the title. He was talking about Caroline. Now, if you are new to my channel, me and Caroline get along great. I think she is such a wonderful, wonderful person, and I care about her. No, we're not friends, we don't hang out, but, I think if we were, like, close to each other, I feel like we'd be girls, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, I think highly of her. I have a lot of respect for her. So yes, needless to say, this pissed me off, but even if I didn't have that feeling, this would have still pissed me off because it's such bullshit. So he says he's not saying any names, and he refers to her second video title, which is Say My Name, Bitch, which I loved it. But he basically talks about how she made a video sad fishing about her experience with Katie, and then her second video she was angry, so don't sad fish anymore, you've already shown you can go off. Let me tell you something. Anybody who's seen Caroline's original video, she was not at all sad fishing for shit. She wrote a wonderful open letter to Katie type, or she didn't write it, she made an open letter to Katie type video. And she was basically making the video to say the same thing that, yes, a lot of people have said, because a lot of people feel this shit. She made the video to say, Katie, because at the time Katie was like, everybody's leaving because of the lawsuit. Everybody's unsubscribing because of, Tati Westbrook and Emily Baker and anybody but herself. She would not take accountability. So just like when I made the video about what happened to Caroline made the open letter to Katie saying, hey, I was a member of your channel, I was a supporter of you, and I left because you were shitty to me. She was not sad fishing at all. She wasn't asking for sympathy. She was making the video. And I'm saying this over and over again because I know BX will watch this, and BX, you need to hear this. She was not fucking sad fishing for shit. She was explaining to Katie that she left because of her own actions, because KJ's actions, not anything else. Not shit she had heard about Katie, not some drama channel bullshit, because of her own experience. Now, BX puts it as she was sad fishing over a situation where Katie was just being an asshole. You know, like, she made this whole video about it. This is BX's take on it. She made a whole video about something that was so simple that, you know, it probably just deserved an apology, but it wasn't that big of a deal. Fuck that. It was shitty. The whole situation was shitty. I feel like people should have been talking about it. And again, Caroline didn't make that video to get sympathy from anyone. She made the video to be very clear to Katie. People weren't just leaving because of the lawsuit. People were leaving because she's a shit person and being an asshole to people, yes. So it really pissed me off that he said that. And he goes on and he's like, well, all of these people, while still referring to Caroline in her videos, make 30-minute videos and talked about, you know, as if it wasn't right of them. Like they shouldn't have. Which is bullshit. Your experience is your experience. And not everyone that shares their experience is trying to gain a huge following. You know, when I made my video, I felt as though I couldn't stand what happened. Not just to Caroline, even though she was the main topic of my video. I had seen how Katie acted with her subs, and it pissed me off, and I had had enough. And I was like, you know, I watched YouTube for years, and it's about time I say something. Not once did I ever think I would be where I am right now. I did it because I felt that shit, and other people do too, especially the people that have actually had that experience. And I don't think we should discredit any of them. You know, at the end of the day, people will either grow or they won't. So why do you give a fuck? And he says at some point that he doesn't give a fuck. Everybody can do what they want to do, but if you didn't give a fuck, bruh, you wouldn't be making a video. Like, that's how I feel about it. So we talked about how he said he was sad fishing. Oh, I literally have a note in here that says, thinks so highly of himself. Yeah. Oh, so when he gets into the Teaspiracy portion of it, he's saying that he's not mad at Teaspiracy. He's really disappointed in her for thinking that he was coming at her, because he said he wasn't coming for her, but he came for her. Like, I'm sorry, that's the way I took it. It's the way a lot of people took it. Because again, it wasn't just about him saying that she did the interview. He's basically saying that everyone who listened to this mod was blinded by their emotions. That's his words, blinded by their emotions, and they weren't thinking critically, they weren't thinking logically. He knows everything, you know. He breaks it down and analyzes things and thinks logically, and that's why he doesn't fall for the bullshit like these people interviewing the ex-mod, which was Teaspiracy. So to say you don't know why she felt that way and that you were disappointed that she felt that way, I call bullshit. Just like you call bullshit, I call bullshit. So he goes on to say everybody falls for everything, but not him. Because not him. Even though in the same video he talks about, like, well, I fell for things in the past, so now I'm not. It's like, dude, which one is it? Like, either you don't, or you fucked up before. Like, you're not perfect. I don't know, it's just the vibe he gives off. No, he's not on the video saying I'm perfect, but if you watch several of his videos, you probably be able to see what I'm saying, because it's never him. It's never him. So then he does go on to say that he's made the mistake in the past, because if you don't know, BX gave Katie a chance to do an interview with him to give her side, and she did fuck him over. That really did happen, and it really was wrong, and people stood up for him. So for him to be the one now to be like, don't fucking trust anybody, don't believe anybody, and literally say that he thinks this moderator is full of bullshit, wow. Because, dude, when it happened to you, we stood up for you. Now all of a sudden you don't want to talk about Katie. You don't want to. There's too many people out here sharing their opinions and their experiences, and I don't get it. I really don't get it. But pisses me off. So then, I mentioned in my last video that in the Teaspiracy interview, and I believe, yes, in her live, the X-Mods live, she does mention feeling like she was kind of the token black girl for Katie's mod group. And she talks about how every time someone would say Katie was racist, she would take up for her. So BX calls her out. He straight up calls her out and says, how you were there the whole time that Katie was doing these things, and you didn't stand up for the black community. So, basically, like, tell me why you didn't say anything before. Why was this okay when you were in it? And then he goes on to accuse her of only wanting money, that she was jealous of this other mod, the one that got paid, that she was constantly bringing up money as an issue. And it's simply not true. She covered the other shit that bothered her, the being outed as an addict, the fact that Katie ignored her, the fact that she thought Katie was a friend and then she was treated badly. It wasn't all about money. As far as her not taking up for the black community at that time, to say this, yes, there are some times in certain situations that people, when somebody they support is getting hate, they'll come out and be like, yeah, I don't fucking like them. And then you do look at them kind of sideways and you're like, but weren't you hanging out with them when they were doing this shit? It does happen. But you should understand, as someone who knows so much about Katie, as someone who's covered Katie for so long, I would expect you to have an understanding that Katie is manipulative. And, maybe at the time, this ex-mod was trying her best to give Katie the benefit of the doubt. I'm sure that at the time, Katie was showing her a very different side of herself. And, when you're talking behind the scenes and you feel like this is your friend, and they're saying things like, well, you know me, we're friends, I would never do that to you. I'm just saying, there's a high probability that she didn't speak out against Katie because Katie had her convinced. Why is that such a... To attack her like she didn't stand up for her people and her community, and to shame her for that is fucked up. It's not okay. She shouldn't hold the weight of the black community on her shoulders and say, I should have done this for them. Shit happens. It wasn't her job. I'm sorry, it wasn't. Anyone of any age, race, and gender can be manipulative. Be manipulated. And I feel like in this case, that's what happened. And now that she's went through the things that she's went through and she's seen how Katie acts, I'm sure now she does look back on it like, wow, I should have seen this, I should have stood up, whatever. But to call her out and put her on the spot and basically treat her like shit for that reason, because she did not take up for everyone right then, I think it's wrong. I don't agree with it at all. So, again, he preaches some more about how he's super logical and he doesn't trust anyone, and, not mad at Teaspiracy, not coming for Teaspiracy, but, maybe she should have pre-recorded this or done things differently. And he gives her what he says is real criticism and somewhat advice that, she should have handled things differently. And again, everyone needs to stop thinking with their emotions. You need to be logical like him. You need to analyze the things. And I guess you should just not believe anything anyone else says about Katie ever, because, we've heard enough of it. That's what pisses me off. To say, well, all these people have come forward, all these people are talking about it. Well, guess what? Katie's been shitty to a lot of people, and it's not okay to discredit what they're saying because we've heard it so many times. That shit pisses me off. He acts like he put that in my notes as well. He acts like he actually cares about Tspiracy as he's given this criticism and advice. I think it's more of, he knows that she gets support. He knows that she's very well liked and very well loved. And I think by doing that, that was his way of like keeping from getting hate for that. Even though he's like, yeah, I'm going to totally be canceled for the 900th and blah, blah, blah time. That's another thing. He's always talking about, I've been canceled for this. I've been canceled for that. He's never truly been canceled. Let's just get that out there. He's always talking about people trying to bury him and come for him. And I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, as BX would say after telling that everyone that he thinks is ex-mod is completely full of shit and talking all the shit that he talks, saying that he's not going to apologize to Tspiracy. Like, I'll go back and look at it and see if maybe, if you really feel that way, I'll try to present things better in the future. But I'm not going to say I'm sorry because I wasn't coming for you. Whatever. I can't help but feel like he's full of shit. And for someone who is always being attacked and always being screwed over, and it's always people trying to fuck him over because he keeps it real. He tells the truth. I call bullshit. I don't see it. Yes, people can be screwed over. Yes, people can, be treated badly. Yes, it can happen more than once, but he's for someone. And here's the thing. This is how I'm going to end this video, because here's the thing. For someone who is preaching to his followers right now to think logically, to think critically, to stop listening to your emotions, stop giving in to your emotions. Someone who talks shit about how he's no longer gonna listen to sad fishing. Okay, BX, I'm gonna take your advice to heart, okay? I'm not thinking emotionally. I'm thinking critically and logically, as you have said to do. And I'm not going to tolerate sad fishing. So, from me to you, I call your bullshit. Because for someone who's so against this emotional thinking and this sad fishing, you are always playing the victim. Like, legitimately, always. Every situation. They hate me because I tell the truth. They hate me because I think critically. They're just trying to bury me. All my ex-mods, they were full of shit. All my ex-mods turned on me and lied on me because they didn't like that I kicked them out of the group. It's never once been your fault. And I call bullshit. Just saying. Everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video, got something from it. If you want to see more on my opinions on BX, please let me know. I would be willing to do that. Share your thoughts, please, about the X mod, and go watch my other video that it gets into what all was said and done, and let me know what you think in the comment section. I love you guys.